think when the Indiana Pacers have been able to slow things down, they have had the edge. We'll see what prevails with no Patrick Ewing.
A big start, critical for Indiana. They're undefeated on the road. They need to come out and dominate early to take this raucous crowd out of it.
Chris Mullen is guarding Chris Dudley, so that's a switch defensively that we expected from Indiana. Larry Johnson misses. They'll have the bigger 6'11" Dale Davis guarding LJ, who's been so productive.
That's a very solid move, and they tried to get Mullen going offensively. But Dale Davis could stand up big and tall over Larry Johnson to negate the huge contribution he's made.
Houston misses the shot off the screen. Smith had it knocked away, and New York has it back.
Both teams are jump shooting basketball teams, and the one that's going to be able to get inside is the one that's going to be the most effective. They come to Larry Johnson against Dale Davis.
Smith comes to double. Johnson is fouled.
That backup of LJ's has been the Knicks style at its worst. When he comes in and takes 7 or 8 dribbles trying to get something going for himself. The Knicks are much better when they move that ball around. Larry Bird already concerned about foul trouble to Dale Davis.
So you mean if you get fouled on an attempt to score, it's no good?
Not if it takes everybody else out of the game. He's got all these guys standing around waiting for the ball.
Well, they waited too long because Larry didn't give it up, and now he's put in the 2 free throws up and got them both. So that net 2 points, the result of that possession. Advantage Steve. High post Smiths.
The long game, Tom.
Reggie Miller, he's the one they need to get on track. Davis. Dale Davis rolls in Indiana's first basket.
Dale Davis and Antonio off the bench, not related, have been really the only Pacers playing any kind of basketball for Larry Bird.
Trying to come to Allen Houston against Reggie Miller, and he feels he's got to attack Reggie Miller. He has missed his first couple of opportunities.
0 for 2 is Allen, and Chris Mullen hauls down the rebound for Indiana, looking for their first lead. Miller off of the screen. Houston right with him. Houston has really done an underappreciated defensive job on Reggie Miller. Smith over Dudley. Too hard. Johnson the rebound.
Pacers love to establish Rick Smits early, but the game is just not there at all for Rick.
Houston finally gets one down. Allen Houston's first buckets. And the Knicks lead by 2.
When you see Mark Jackson walking the ball up the floor, this is the pace of the game that the Indiana Pacers want. They have to execute at this end of the floor. They're trying to get Smits going. They get a foul against Chris Dudley.
This, of course, is the Knicks' fear. Dudley in foul trouble.
Allen Houston telling us his main weapon against Reggie Miller is to attack him on the defensive end. Pulling the quick trigger, coming off that nice down screen by his teammate.
Mullen for 3. Chris Mullen with a quick shot off the screen has his first basket, and I thought it was a 3. They gave him a 2, apparently. It's 4-4.
Chris Mullen has to shoot his way into this series. He has been completely outplayed by Larry Johnson.
The playoffs are all about matchups, and the ones that favor the Indiana Pacers, they've suddenly changed, so they're going to come back.
Nice hand, Steve.
Clank.
Now, that ball was out of bounds. You don't catch a ball that's out of bounds.
That was right in your wheelhouse, and you just let it go.
Out of bounds. That's the difference. You never learned when a ball was out of bounds.
Now they're discussing
that 3-point
Yeah,
shot.
was it a 2 or 3? I thought it was a 3.
Mullen said it was a 3.
Chris is over here talking to Steve. And now they gave it to him, a 3. Yeah, I thought it was a 3, too, when he let it go. So it is a 3, and it is an Indiana 1-point lead with the ball.
Shooters also know when they're shooting.
Yeah, they do. He knew all of them.
So how would you know, Steve?
Smith gets tangled up, and Dudley comes up with a loose ball. Ward pushing it. Dudley just now getting down court.
Now, this group that the Knicks have out on the floor is not going to get many cheap opportunities. Dudley with a missed jump hook. Charlie Ward with a hand check. And
there's been a lot of discussion, of course, about the way the series has been called. Jeff Van Gundy complaining. He said whining now is the way to win in the NBA. He said Indiana did it successfully because in Game 2, the Knicks weren't allowed to stand their ground. And so the officiating has been much discussed the first 2 games. There's no call as Davis was bodied by Dudley. Thomas takes down the rebound.
Rick Smith has to finish at least a layup, please.
Mullen slaps it away for Indiana. Mullen for 3. Mark Jackson the rebound. Mullen wants it again.
He's wide open, and they decide not to give it to him. Johnson now has to defend Jackson out on the perimeter.
Mullen matched up against Charlie Ward, and an offensive foul called on Chris Mullen.
A lot of teams in the Eastern Conference, Tom, have been trying defensive strategies of switching off their point guard against Chris Mullen. But Chris Mullen has the ability to back guys down. A little flop there.
I thought it was a pretty good shoulder, though, from Mullen. I thought it was a pretty good call.
Well, we're well aware that the Tony Awards will be given out for the best and the brightest in theatrical achievement tomorrow night at the Gershwin Theater. Charlie Ward trying for a late entry in those.
Maybe he needs to consult with Reggie. LJ, the spin, and the foul. Larry Johnson.
Offensive foul. Larry Johnson got the hook as he made that quick spin, so he picks up his first personal. But you watch the elbow come out right there to wrap around, and Steve Gabby says no.
Why is Larry Johnson trying to back down Dale Davis? Take him out 15 feet, face him up, and get to the hoop. Draw some more fouls.
Smits. Charging foul. Wipe out the basket. Smits, as Dudley took the charge, and Smits had a head of steam, and he wasn't going to stop for anything or anybody.
Well, the Indiana Pacers are trying to break that string where they stay out on the perimeter, and Smith is coming hard, and he is not going to be denied the opportunity, but Dudley steps in front of the line and gets the charge.
Not the prettiest of starts, almost halfway through the first quarter, and it's 5-4 Indiana.
New York's 1 of 6, Indiana 2 of 7 shooting.
Well, let's remember that Indiana has had droughts all season long, and in game 2, when they had an 18-point lead, they went 5 minutes, 45 seconds without a field goal.
Chris Mullen commits his second foul.
He had the offensive foul earlier. That's his first defensive foul. The Knicks are going to take a timeout.
He's in shock.
What are they doing to me today? They didn't give me the 3, and now they call another foul. We'll be back.